Welcome to Straight from the Horse's Mouth, where we cut the BS and give you the truth all about sports. Once again, I am Bryce Oden, host of Bryce Davis.
What's good?
All right, we are back here with the conclusion of the NBA Finals. It is official. The Oklahoma City Thunder have defeated the Indiana Pacers in 7 games.
103-91.
To win their first NBA championship as the Oklahoma City Thunder. They did win it as the Seattle Supersonics back in the late 70s.
Yep.
But it's been a long time coming. Shout out to Sam Presti.
Yeah.
He's been one of the better GMs since he took over the Oklahoma City Thunder, leaving when he left the San Antonio Spurs organization. Just doing it the right way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just never tanking.
Yeah.
You know,
always bringing in talent.
Yeah. Never fostering a healthy ecosystem of basketball here.
Yeah.
I know this was a small market battle.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is a good finals. It didn't end how we wanted it.
No.
And we'll get into that a little bit later. But overall, great basketball was played for the most part of this finals and for the most part of this playoffs.
Yeah.
But let me get your thoughts on what just took place.
Yeah. For me, I'm very glad that Oklahoma City won. I do think they did a lot of work to get to this point. You don't see turnarounds like this very often in sports where, you're trading away two superstars in that trade.
Well, they traded away Paul George to the Clippers,
and Russ
left that same offseason.
So Russ left that same offseason, and to go from Chris Paul dragging a undermanned roster into the playoffs to inexperienced, to the playoffs to now winning a finals. Like I said, that's how you should do it. That's what all organizations should strive to. Is just, you know what? Yeah, things didn't go our way, but we had someone who had a plan, and that plan was to get back to winning basketball as soon as possible, and that was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all remember on this journey when Memphis blew them out one night, like 60 points or something like that. It was a terrible game. Not this. It was along their journey.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Or something like that. And
when Memphis was up.
Yeah, Memphis was up.
Yeah.
Back when Memphis was up. And I think that was also the game where Ja was caught with the gun right after that.
Really?
I think that was the same game.
Man.
No, that was Colorado. Oh, this was Colorado. Okay, yes. That was different then. But yeah, like I said, to go from getting absolutely destroyed by Memphis to I think they knocked them out the playoffs, didn't they?
This year?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So knock them out the playoffs and then winning the finals. It's gotta feel good. It's gotta feel really good.
Obviously, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room.
Yep.
Tyrese Halliburton was cooking.
Yeah.
He had 9 points, quick 9 points. It was like, okay, we're gonna have a game on our hands. It's gonna be one of those. And then makes that wrong step, and bam. There's been no definitive answer yet, as far as I know, but it's looking like
probably an Achilles.
It's probably an Achilles injury. Obviously, we know he was nursing a calf injury.
Yep.
Going into this game, and it just gave way.
Yep.
And obviously, that's the third player in these playoffs that have torn their Achilles. We've had injuries ruin playoffs before.
Yeah.
I've never seen guys get hurt from the same exact injury.
Yeah. But it's almost same exact play.
But if you think about this playoffs, right? Just think about this for a minute. Okay. Halliburton gets hurt in the finals.
Yep.
Okay. Dame gets hurt in the first round.
Yep.
Tatum gets hurt in the second round. Guys like Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler get hurt in the first round.
Yeah.
Did Ja get hurt?
No, maybe.
Yeah, I think he got hurt.
I think he was nursing an injury.
And on Cleveland side, Darius Garland got hurt.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley got hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a war of attrition.
Yep.
And they say, in order to win a championship, sometimes you got to get a little lucky.
Yeah.
The Thunder, guys got nicked up here and there. You know what I'm saying? We saw Chet was nursing stuff, but for the most part, they was able to kind of like
weather that
storm. But this playoff and a couple other recent playoffs have just been marred by injuries. I don't know what is happening. Again, we've talked about this numerous times on various speculations on what is taking place because you would think with the technology and with the evolution of just people. But also, I think people got to take into circumstances of, first of all, how much basketball is being played at the young age. Also got to take into account how bad food has gotten.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's that because I think for the most part, I would consider Halliburton probably more on his nutrition than other guys.
I'm just saying in general.
Oh, true.
Like I don't know coming up. You know what I mean? The foundation of your body, like especially compared to like. I don't know if you spoke to, but I spoke to my dad like what he ate as a kid, and how it was much more. Now I won't say healthy, but it was much more like natural.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like processed.
Got you.
And all these other stuff. I think that plays as far as the structure.
To me, I just think it's just the amount of basketball that's being played.
Yeah.
And to another point is the fact that some of these guys, especially basketball players, they lock into basketball so soon.
Mm-hmm.
They don't develop any other skills that might keep them healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
basketball, do you mean like muscles and other parts?
Yeah,
of the body?
like muscles and part of the body. Like where like Tyrese Halliburton might have been good like doing track and field and being a jumper maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which would help those lower body muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he probably doesn't do that in high school because it's like I'm mainly basketball. Like he probably locks into basketball at 13 and he doesn't even try any other sports. And that might also be another thing as well. But it was unfortunate to watch that. We were watching it at the thing and everyone kind of knew like it's over.
Yeah,
like it's just over.
You guys should have been there. We were at out at a bar watching this game, and the minute the injury happened, the whole venue was kind of like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we all knew.
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've become too accustomed now of seeing this. We know exactly what to look for.
Yep.
We know now. It's not like 2019 where like we happened to KD and we weren't really on hip to like Achilles injuries yet.
Yeah.
So we like, what just happened? We don't know what happened to him, you know what I mean? But now again, think about that. That was 2019.
Yeah.
And then since then it's just like the
Hasn't gotten
phenomenon.
better.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's talk about the actual game 7.
Yeah.
Ugly game.
Very ugly.
Very ugly game. Okay, do you based on what we saw from Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
If Halliburton plays, how do you think this looks this game?
Halliburton plays, the Pacers have a good shot of winning.
Yeah.
If everything else plays out the same and the shooting for Oklahoma City kind of stays the same and TJ McConnell goes on his run, Mathurin goes on his run, Siakam goes on his run, I think that the Pacers are very much in position to win the game. Because I think that's the other thing we saw throughout this was why Halliburton is so important to Indiana. When he's not out there, the guys who need help getting their buckets because of how he moves out there, those opportunities were few and far in between, and it took them a long time to get revved up without him out there because he's not looking for guys to get them active. On the Oklahoma City side, I'll say this now. Yeah, they won, but if they stay exactly as they are, I don't.
Which they aren't. All speaking is they not.
Yeah, they won't. But if they were to stay exactly as they are and go through this run again, I think they lose in the finals definitively. Because I saw a team that, while good, has a lot of like glaring flaws that I couldn't see them being a back-to-back, even attempting a back-to-back championship at this point. Yeah, fast break points, outside shooting. Oh my God, that pissed me off through this whole series was their ability to inbound the freaking ball. Their ball handling of if it's not Shea. There's a lot of things where it's like, oh boy, had it not been Indiana, y'all probably would have been out of here. I'm not gonna lie. Like had this been the Boston Thunder, I think Boston repeat. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, just from how I saw Oklahoma City just play, I'm just like, Boston could have repeated if maybe they make it to this position. Either way, I think both teams come out of this finals saying there are things we can improve on. We won't be in this position unless we improve.
Speak to kind of piggyback off your point real quick with the Halliburton thing. I think people need to understand it because I know early on in this series people are like, man, he doesn't score enough. It's like the difference between him and TJ McConnell is Halliburton. And I need to stress because I don't know if you made this point clear enough. I want people to understand this. It's not that everybody knows Indiana has more guys who can get a bucket on their own.
Yep.
But Halliburton makes sure that they get the ball so they can get the bucket on their own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's like a helio. You know what I'm saying?
He makes the offense run.
Yeah. Everybody's hot potatoes. Warm. Yeah. Everybody feels good. Everybody feels involved. Well, McConnell, while different, probably because he plays hard, but he's more of a dribble.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He's that typical microwave scorer, right? He comes off the bench and he's just looking to score.
I won't call him a microwave scorer now, but he's just not. He's not. It's different when he touches the paint.
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah, it's different. Like it's just he's looking like okay, like he won a pass, but like he also it's not as heliocentric compared to what Halliburton is.
True,
You know what I'm saying?
true,
Halliburton
yeah.
coming in and he boom in the corner. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
it's just everybody moving feels more flowing. T.J. McConnell, it feel like he dribbles the air out of the ball.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he plays hard and,
Yeah.
and you can feel his impact though.
Yeah.
He has a presence. But I said this during the game. The best thing that happened to the Oklahoma City Thunder during this game was T.J. McConnell going on that run. Because when he went on that run, one is he's not a 3-point shooter.
Nope.
So we can't make threes, but y'all not taking them.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That was very important.
And again, nobody else is getting involved.
Yep.
Nobody else remember.
In that minute, Siakam barely touched the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Mathurin, who was out there with him, barely touches the ball.
And remember, he was. I forget what it's like. I forget which part in the game, but like there was a stretch where like he scored like their last like 9, 10, 12 points. You know what I'm saying?
I believe that was in the third quarter.
Yeah, right. I'm saying, but that was going into. I'm just saying like that lasted going into the. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of the guys weren't even seeing the ball going into the basket.
Yeah. If
they were taking shots, so I think that to me that's when it was game.
Yeah.
That was the game. When that happened, to me it was over.
Yep.
I don't think that they had enough to rev it up like that.
No.
Siakam, I guess his ancestors left him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
whatever happened in Game 6, that was gone.
Yeah, that was gone. You know what I mean? They said, "All right, bro, we helped you get one. That's it.
Yeah.
That's you use. You know." Yeah, 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. You know, we helped you with Kawhi.
Yep.
You asked for our help then. We gave we took care of KD, took care of Clay.
You got to win one of these on your own.
Yeah.
You got to do this one now.
Right. And his disappearance surprised me. I thought he would have been way more aggressive than he was, but he was kind of like,
passive, very passive, especially when Oklahoma went with those small lineups.
Yeah.
Because that's when I felt like he had the perfect opportunity to go off on the smaller Oklahoma City lineups, and he just didn't.
Same with Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Indiana got upgraded at the. Now I understand why he's been in trade talks.
Yep.
And why they almost signed DeAndre Ayton.
Yep.
And I think I was like,
I can see why.
Yeah.
Offensively, I can see why, and defensively too.
Yeah, he just ain't it.
Yeah.
He's not a championship caliber center. I know you got Game 7 with him, but hell, Michael Jordan won a championship with Luka Longley. That don't mean that was the right guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I think that's one area where they may look to like, okay, upgrade.
Yeah.
Before we move on, give me one takeaway from the overall 2025 NBA playoffs. What's your one takeaway?
One takeaway, defense is back, baby, and it's back in a big way, and I love it. I loved how physical this playoffs was, and I hope it stays this way going forward.
Yeah. I think my one takeaway, besides the physicality being allowed to play, is depth.
Yeah.
The era of big three and like 5 other dudes
and three guys named Jackie
and hoping you just figure this out is over. You need depth.
Yep.
In a pace and space era where guys are constantly running and moving and like extra breather.
I gotta give my stars breaks.
Yeah, that extra breather. Like, and maybe that's another thing. Guys are probably some of the teams. Maybe guys break it down, but I'm just the depth.
Yeah.
Just Oklahoma City had depth.
Yep. Pacers
Indiana had depth.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like even Minnesota has some depth.
Minnesota has depth. Denver still has depth.
Shit, not really. They didn't have depth.
They didn't.
They did not have depth, actually. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you think about teams. Milwaukee did not have depth.
That's true.
Golden State did not have depth.
Yeah.
The Lakers did not have depth.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
And we're sent packing.
Yeah.
You know, even Houston to me had depth.
Yeah, that's true.
Detroit to me had depth.
Yeah.
The Knicks had it, but we didn't realize because Thibodeau refused to play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, he disguised the depth. You know what I mean?
I've got it. I just don't want to use
it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Thibodeau to me is like getting shot in war and then like to find your body and your hand was on the gun.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
He'd be the guy who you'd find and he'd just have full mags. Like,
yeah.
He didn't use any ammo.
Like, damn, nigga, you just died.
You could have the clip, my guy.
Right, you didn't go down swinging. You just took the L. Okay, all right. But moving on from that though.
Yep.
One thing, unfortunately, I hate using this, but one thing, the injuries to whether it's to Damian Lillard, the injuries to Jason Tatum, the injuries to Tyrese Halliburton, even the injuries to Joel Embiid with the Sixers is why I was perfectly fine with the Orlando Magic trading for Desmond Bane.
Yep.
And now it's even more better of a trade.
Because we were talking about at the bar when it happened, or like a couple of minutes after it happened, right? The East is now even more wide open.
Yep.
There's probably 3 or 4 teams, including Orlando, who will be in contention next year.
Orlando?
Yep.
the Knicks.
Yep.
The Pistons.
Yep.
And
Cavaliers.
And the Cavaliers.
Yep. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Strike one iron top, my guy.
Right.
Get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Get to it. A lot of people were poo-pooing it when it happened, saying they gave up too much, which really I don't think they did. They gave up Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who did nothing for them, like in the playoffs. He just was a non-factor. Who else was it? Kentavious Caldwell-Pope
and a draft pick.
Oh,
Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony.
Yeah.
Cole Anthony and a draft pick.
Mm-hmm. Also, look up the actual details of that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we've got Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, and they need a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get him a guard.
No, they do. He was hurt last year. They got Suggs.
That's right.
Who's a defensive-minded guard.
Yeah.
Right. So their starting five at this point would looks like Suggs at the 1, Bane at the 2, Wagner at the 3, Banchero at the 4, and probably Wendell Carter at the 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe Jonathan Isaacs, but because of his injury history, we'll kind of have him come off the bench. Go ahead. Caldwell Pope was in the trade. Yep. We know that. Cole Anthony was in the trade. 4 first-round draft picks. Including the 16 picks. And they're all unprotected, right?
Yeah,
unprotected. Mm-hmm.
And a first-round pick swap in 2029.
And the first-round pick swap in 2020. Okay, so that was the trade. And it was the 4 first-round picks that people hung up on, right? Yeah. So here's the thing with draft picks, right? Some of these teams have too many picks.
Yes.
Or it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're Orlando, hey man, we drafted Wagner high.
Yep.
We drafted Banchero high. We drafted Suggs high.
Yep.
We drafted Jonathan Isaacs high. We drafted Anthony Black high. How many other high draft picks do we need?
Really
Wendell Carter was technically he was. I think your Bulls drafted him.
We drafted
but he
him.
was
He
a
first
lottery
pick.
pick. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need any more
lottery picks.
High draft picks.
Yeah.
We're ready to win now.
Yeah.
Those picks cannot help us now.
No.
We're ready to win right now.
Yep.
I'm all for teams saying, look, we got what we want now.
Yeah.
We got what we want. We got what we need.
Technically, Oklahoma City did that.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, cool, we're done with the picks.
Yeah.
We're done with them. Let's go ahead and start getting this going.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Orlando is doing. Let's go ahead and get this going. Most of these guys we feel like, especially in this playoff series, are ready to take the next step. We gave Boston a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
We're there. We're competing.
Yeah.
With a team like Boston. Let's go ahead and get this going so we can not just compete but beat at this point.
And the trade makes sense because what was Orlando's weakness? They couldn't shoot the 3.
Yep.
They were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. What is Desmond Bain good at? Shooting threes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like a hand in a glove,
Yep.
as OJ would say. I'm just kidding. He wouldn't say. I'm sorry. But the trade made sense.
Yep.
It's winning time. I love when GMs say, we doing it, man.
Yeah.
I love when GMs they sit on the sideline no more.
Yeah.
Fuck, and they did it before
playoffs wasn't even finals wasn't even
before
over.
They said even if Indiana win or lose, we feel like we can beat them.
They looked at this finals and said, we could be here.
Yeah.
If this is the basketball we're going to be playing, we can do this.
Right, we can do this. We can do this. Right. We can hang with and again, they did this before Halliburton got hurt.
Yep.
They said we can hang with that team.
Yeah.
We most absolutely can hang with that team.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or we can hang and whoever else is coming, we can hang with.
Whoever that is, we're there.
Yeah.
We can get there.
We can get there. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the Desmond Bain trade. I'm glad he's out of Memphis. Quickly, side note, what do you think about the whole talk about? First of all, what are your thoughts on what's happening with Memphis now? Real quick.
Changes will be happening very soon.
They've been happening.
They've been happening, but if I'm Ja, I'm a little worried because I don't think I'm going to be here in the next couple years. Next 2 to 3 years, I'm probably either of my own volition or of Memphis's. I'm gone. Either way.
Well, there are rumors that they aren't throwing in the towel, that they are planning on signing Jaren Jackson Jr. to an extension this summer.
Okay.
Now they could be signing him to have that leverage so they can actually use him as trade bait and flip him.
Yeah.
But they do say they plan on signing him to an extension. Zach Edey's out. Also, he's injured right now.
Yeah.
So that may have played effect. They may be like, well, damn, like we're not gonna have Edey for real. Like,
True.
So we may, Brandon Clark's coming off another season where this will be his second season where he's kind of healthy. Maybe he got hurt.
True. But they're also coming with a new coach and all of that.
Yeah.
So
new coach, but not saying, but he just got elevated.
True.
Not some guy they brought out. He just got elevated. They're gonna be playing a different style.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I'm curious to see because Ja didn't like the style.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm curious to see if he conforms to that. But what do you think about the whole talk about Memphis, the city? That was the thing.
That was weird. That was weird. It's like anything. You know, we're from St. Louis. People talk about how dangerous St. Louis is, but you just got to know where not to be.
Yeah.
That's all it really is. Like if we're talking about like the area by the FedEx Arena, it's fine. It's Beale Street and all that. They're not letting stuff go down on Beale Street.
I will say this though, when I went, because I visited my sister in school a couple years ago when she went to Memphis, and I was shocked at how quickly removed from Beale Street it was. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So like how like the Delmar Divide here is in St. Louis, where like you get like a little bit far from like, oh my God, like where am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so, but I also think that certain cities, unfortunately, aren't as kind to high-profile people. Yeah. As we know in Memphis, Young Dolph was killed in Memphis, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So, like, city, but like, again, but at the same time, L.A.
Yeah. But
L.A. like that same too.
It's how you move. If you move a certain way, that's what you'll get caught up in. Yeah. But if you don't move that way, you're fine. Yes. You're 100% fine. So that's why I would worry about Ja because, you know, flashing guns and shit. Yeah. It's like, if you move that way, we might need to just go ahead and get you out of this city. You attract that shit.
All right. Speaking of trades, another trade went big down today.
Yes.
Kevin Durant has been officially traded from the Phoenix Suns to the Houston Rockets. In exchange, Houston gets this year's 10th pick, and they get Jalen Green.
And Dylan Brooks.
Dylan the villain. Your thoughts on the trade?
I liked it. I think we all knew Jalen Green was gone. We knew.
Everybody called it. That's that was confusing me. People were like, "Man, they're giving up their future." I thought it was pretty like the worst kept secret.
We all watched this playoff. We all watched Jalen Green play himself out of Houston.
Exactly. Yeah, we were saying it in real time. Like, damn, you making it real easy, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we watched Jalen Green play himself out of Houston. For Houston, again, we made it to the playoffs. We've got a squad, and we're hoping KD can help just take us to that next level, and hopefully we can finally beat the freaking Warriors. Right. For God's sakes. And I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how having that kind of automatic scorer on the squad might help, how their offense got very stagnant and couldn't buy up.
Terrible half-court team.
Yeah, terrible half-court team. So hopefully KD being there helps open up that side of the court on offense and just takes them to that next level. Because in reality, you're not losing much with Dylan Brooks. You still have a lot of other defenders. Thompson, great defender. Like they'll be fine on defense. Yeah. So you're just adding an offensive piece that can really help you in that half-court set.
Defense too now.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. There's this thing about Kevin Durant that people think he does play defense.
True.
He does. He is first off, my dad said this when I was a kid, and I still believe to this day. You can't be that tall and be a defensive liability. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say.
That's true.
When you 6'10" and above, it is hard to be a defensive liability. You can be lazy.
Yeah, or just a.
But you can still block a shot. You know what I'm saying?
You can be a Karl Anthony Towns and just be a dumb defender.
Yeah, right. Be lazy foul, but you can still block a shot at work. You can still be a body. You know what I'm saying? Like when guys come to the lane, they're still seeing 6'10". You know what I'm saying? They still got to shoot over you. But Kevin Durant's an active defender. You know what I mean? So I think he even averaged like a block this year. Okay. One thing that has annoyed me a lot, right? Just like with the whole Desmond Bane thing. People keep saying, man, you give up your future for this old KD. Let's get this very clear. Thompson is still on the team, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I was just checking. Jabari Smith Jr. is still on the team, correct?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Tari Eason still on the team, correct?
Yep. Şengün
still on the team, correct? Yep. Okay. Reed Shepard, the guy who drafted last year 3rd overall and didn't play this year, he's still on the team, right?
Yep.
Cam Whitmore, the guy that drafted last year in the first round, he's still on the team, right?
Yep.
So we still got we let go one guy.
Yeah, technically that guy wasn't our future.
Yeah, again, he was getting flipped for either Kevin Durant or Giannis.
Yeah,
he was gone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he was not safe.
Yeah,
and we got to keep damn near everybody else.
Yeah, and we lost the pick.
You know, that's it.
Yeah,
and again, who gives a damn about the pick? Because we still got 2 guys in the first round last year ain't played.
Yeah,
so we still, as far as I'm concerned, our pick don't really matter because we still got dudes on the team who didn't even get clocked like that.
Yep.
I love the move.
Yep.
He Kevin Durant can get he get his buckets without taking away from the offense. Yeah. You know, he still plays a lot of high level basketball. There was a weird situation last year in
I think we all knew with Phoenix that was just a bad built team.
Right.
That was the difference. I don't blame KD for an organization that just made bad moves. Right? Like that was what happened in Phoenix.
Yeah.
The organization made bad moves, and another one that we just kind of called where it's like, why would you do this? This team's not going to operate the way you think it will.
Now, I will say this, though. With him coming to the team, Ime Doku, I'm going to need Fred VanVleet to hit the bench.
Yeah.
I'm going to need Reed Shepard to start becoming the lead dog on that team. I want Kevin Durant with an actual, regular point guard.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Russ. Say what you want.
Yep.
Say what you want about Russ. He's a regular point guard.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He can now. Sometimes he can play. Sometimes he forgets.
Sometimes he goes from being
Yeah.
a point guard to a bulldog.
Yeah. But when Kevin Durant has a regular point guard, he's fine.
Yeah.
I know Phoenix last year tried to trade for Tyus Jones. They ended up working.
Yeah.
D-Book hadn't played a lot of the point guard position, lead guard position. I'm going to need Fred VanVleet to hit the bench.
Yep.
Just like he did in Toronto. I feel like he's better used as a six-man.
Yeah, he's not a regular 5-man rotation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Bring him in. Because now, if Reed Shepard he's your 1, Thompson to be at the 2, Durant be at the 3, and then I guess you got Sengun. Honestly,
Sengun 4
or
5.
You could do.
Or no, Steven Adams is going to be there.
I may bring him up. It depends. Okay, they can go really big.
Yeah.
They can do Shepard, Thompson, Durant, Sengun, Adams. Or they can have Sengun play the 5, Durant play some 4, Thompson, Reed, and maybe, I guess, because Green and Brooks were like their wings.
Yeah.
So I guess now they can be like, maybe Cam.
Yeah.
Maybe Jabari Smith gets unlocked a little bit. Maybe Tari Eason starts. Maybe that's what it makes. Probably Tari Eason. Yeah. Maybe it's Shepard, Thompson, Eason, Durant, Sengun is the starting lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you got VanVleet coming off the bench with Steven Adams. With Cam Whitmore. You know what I'm saying?
They got stuff to play with them.
Yeah. They got stuff. And maybe they're not done.
Yeah.
Maybe they still could make some other moves. Who knows? Adams is a free agent. They need to re-sign him.
Yeah, they do.
Hopefully, Adams sees that where he is in his career and saw what he did for Houston and goes, you know what? I'm gonna just stay here.
Yeah.
And maybe the fact that they bringing in KD, a guy he did play with in OKC.
Yeah. Maybe helps him make that decision. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm KD, that's probably one of the first things I'm doing on the phone is calling Steven Adams.
Hey, you staying right?
Right. What would we? You know what I mean?
What we doing?
Yeah. So. Overall, I like the move for Houston. People keep saying they're a second round exit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because
I'm not confident in the Lakers.
Me neither.
I'm not confident in Minnesota still.
Me neither. And Julius Randle's a free agent.
Yep, Julius Randle's a free agent.
I mean, he has a player option, but he might opt out.
Yeah, Denver is going to take another step back in my
opinion. I agree.
Golden State's taking a step back.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're going to be 1 year older.
They're going to be 1 year older.
And I want to see, and Steph's coming off injury as well. So who knows? But I want to see a full year of Jimmy Butler with Steph and see what that looks like. I'm not writing him off yet.
I'm not going to write him off, but I don't expect him to be contenders.
Right. OKC has some warts. They're champions, though, so we respect that.
We respect the championship.
And don't sleep on us.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on us.
Dallas, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Cooper Cup going to be there.
Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag.
AD, 4 year AD. Yeah. Obviously going to be missing Kyrie for a lot of the season. Hopefully we get him back, later on because, he got hurt too. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm just interested in seeing what happens. But the West,
both divisions are wide open.
And I typically keep saying, like, for anybody who keeps saying, like, that was a bad trade, there's a reason why we've had a different champion.
Yep.
2019 onward.
Yep.
There's a reason for that.
Yep.
There's a reason. It's not because there's some dominant force. No, that doesn't exist.
It's not anymore.
Any team, any year can break through. You never know who it can be. So why not make moves so it can be you?
Yep.
Last thing of the day, LeBron on his Mind the Game podcast, he was sitting down with Steve Nash and my guy, technically former my guy, Louis Doncic, and was talking about they were talking about ring culture and things of that nature, and he was like, it was bad for the league and all that kind of stuff. And this is my thoughts on ring culture, right?
Yeah.
When I was young, right, when we was talking about basketball, obviously, when people brought up championships, it was always to like end the argument.
Yeah.
We never started there.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like we never was like, okay, like when I say young, I mean like when I was in like middle school.
Yeah.
We didn't, because I about you, by end of high school, ring culture was already a thing.
Yep.
So when I was in middle school, early high school, when we talk about like favorite players, it was like what they could do.
Yeah.
He scores better. He's a better defender. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
We may have talked about playoff success, things of that nature, but that was like the end.
And it culminated with whose guy has actually won a championship.
Yeah.
Not yours.
Right. So
my guy's better.
Yeah. But now I think, to me, my thing with ring culture is I don't think it's been used to – maybe some people do use it to bring down other players.
Oh, yeah.
But my problem with ring culture is it's one, I think the media has used it, and I think that has cheapened basketball talk.
Yep.
Because I think it's an escape. When you don't know how to talk about basketball, it's an easy thing to lean on.
Yes.
Like if you can't, if I say name me who you think is better, Robert Horry or Joe Johnson, something like that, and you go, well, let's take it back. If I say, who is the better role player?
Okay.
Robert Horry, Tony Kukoc, right? And then the third option is Jamal Crawford, right?
Right.
Well, people are going to be like, well, Robert Horry hit some big shots and he won 7 titles. Well, Tony Kukoc won $6 million a year and he won 3 titles. It's like,
yeah. But who's if we're talking about who's the better basketball player, Jamal Crawford.
But one guy was actually doing a whole hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
When one guy was actually given the green light.
Yes.
Like, hey, when you get into the game,
go off,
run the offense, bro.
Yeah.
You're the offense.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't score, it's gonna look kind of ugly.
Yeah.
We kind of need you to keep manage to keep the flow of the game either in our favor or change the tide in our favor.
Yep.
Like be an actual spark plug off the bench. Guys like him, guys like J.R. Smith in his earlier days, guys like Lou Will. You know what I'm saying? But ring coaching make you think that Tony Kukoc or Robert Horry, who was good, especially when he was in Houston, really good help defender, really good defender. Tony Kukoc really was just kind of off, just really good, good, just good shooter, really good scorer. We saw that especially when in his Croatia days. But I'm taking Jamal Crawford over both of them as actual basketball players.
It comes to just pure basketball.
Yeah. But ring coaching would devalue him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And ring coaching to me cheapened basketball talk, and it also, in my opinion, cheapened the regular season.
Yes.
And I think that was, to me, that's the one thing I kept seeing people miss, is ring culture made people devalue the regular season. Because I would see it all the time in broadcasts. Guys would be killing. Guys would be having a crazy game. Just to say Paul George or James Harden having a really good game. And people would be like, well, he got to do it, it's cool or whatever. They would kind of downplay
it. We see that conversation when it comes to James Harden, right? Like, what do people really care about when it comes to James Harden? It's Game 7 or Game 6 Harden. When you need Harden, when he matters, that's when people care.
Yeah.
When it's like, but that MVP season that he had wasn't a fluke, right? And there was a reason why he went at Giannis the way he did, because he felt like, I'm a better basketball player than Giannis. He felt that to his core, and he was right. When it comes to basketball skill, he's better.
Right.
But because of ring culture, people do devalue the fact that James Harden is probably one of the best offensive players I think I've ever seen in my time.
He is.
I think he's one of the best offensive players ever.
Mm-hmm. And I think, and the problem with guys, when you look about guys like a James Harden, guys like a Russell Westbrook, who I've been very critical of, sometimes with ring culture, it cheapens it. People may feel like what they do for granted. Yeah. Like, okay, let's wait till the playoffs to have this conversation. Let's just wait. Let's just enjoy what he's doing right now. He's cooking his team right now on a regular Tuesday night in January. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's worry about the playoff stuff when the playoff stuff come around. Let's enjoy what Tracy McGrady's doing right now in Orlando. Let's wait till the playoffs to talk about him not being able to get out of the first round. Let's enjoy what Gilbert Arenas is doing in Washington. Let's enjoy what Joe Johnson is doing right now. ISO Joe's doing right now in Atlanta. Yeah. Like, let's enjoy this. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I think with ring culture, it devalued the regular season to the point where it's like, well, who gives a damn? Y'all don't care. Yeah. The media, y'all told me it don't matter. You guys have told me this don't matter. The only thing that matters is this. Other leagues don't do that. Yep. Yep. They tell you the regular season is important. Yep. They tell you to enjoy Lamar Jackson and his escapability, his ability to run. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy Brett Favre's ability to make these crazy throws. Yeah. Enjoy what Barry Sanders was doing. Yeah. Like, enjoy this. Don't take this for granted.
Because some of these guys don't get the opportunity to go take this to the postseason.
Or just enjoy it because you never know. Yeah. You never know. Derrick Rose, you never know. True. Imagine had they talked about Derrick Rose the way they talk about these guys. Oh, God, we would and then the injury happens. Yep. Now you gonna look back like, damn, I never got to really enjoy what he did.
So for me, like I said, I was a basketball fan. Derrick Rose is what made me a Bulls fan. It wasn't Michael Jordan. Right. Derrick Rose is what made me a Bulls fan. Right. Right. For you, it was Dirk. Mm-hmm. Right. Dirk's ability in the regular season is why you became a fan of the Dallas. Like, you watched a regular season Dallas game, and you said, that's my guy, that's my team. Yep. That's how it's supposed to work.
That's how it's supposed to work, yeah. It can't be, well, I'm gonna be a Warriors fan because they've won rings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not the same. Yeah. It's not the same.
That makes you a bandwagon. Yeah. That's exactly why you're a bandwagon.
It's not the same. It's not the same as far as watching a team and just saying, all right, I'm gonna just see what happens. It's my squad now. Maybe it could be because you saw him in a commercial, because you like the shoes you wearing, you like the swag, whatever. But like, that makes you a fan, right? And I think with ring culture to me took away all of that.
Yeah.
And it took away some coolness and some lust from the NBA.
Yeah.
It made it so hyper focused on getting a championship,
on the final product,
right? Which we understand. We know that's important. No one's saying that's not important, but that's not the end all be all.
No.
Imagine if baseball, who plays 862 games, was like, you know what? Yeah, this dude is hitting 50, 60 something home runs. Who gives a damn? You know what I'm saying?
Imagine Albert going on that final run for the home run title, or not the title, just total career home runs.
Yeah.
But nobody cared because the Cardinals weren't going into the postseason.
Right.
Imagine like how boring that becomes now. It's like, oh, there he goes. He's another home run, but it doesn't really matter because he's not going to the postseason.
Right.
It's like, no. We all want to see him achieve this goal, and the only way he can achieve it is in the regular season.
Yeah. But yeah, this ring culture to me is I saw the conversations happening again. I think I saw the Stephen, talking about Stephen Smith and Tracy McGrady was talking about it. As far as devaluing players, I disagree with that. I just think that it devalued the way we talked about basketball and devalued the regular season, and here we are now.
Yep.
Anyway, man, that's all the time we have for you today, man. We can follow me at Facebook at Bryce Oden. Follow me on Instagram at Bryce David Oden. Bryce, don't tell him.
From Twitter, Bruce Leroy.
And remember, you get here from the horse's mouth. Listen to us who told you we out. Peace.